Being chosen isn't the finish line. Who amongst us is willing to admit that? Listen, if it were, why does it feel unsatisfying now? Not terribly bad, but maybe a little bit toxic. There's even such a thing as a little bit toxic. So here's the deal. Many of us, too many of us of a particular age, organized our whole lives around being chosen, being wanted, being kept, being his one and only. And on the way to that goal, we told ourselves that once that happened, we could finally be ourselves and relax. But did you? Or did you just adjust into this new life and continue to work at being chosen? Honestly, I was adjusting. I adjusted my tone. I adjusted what I said. I adjusted what I asked for. And I called that the way to getting what I wanted, which was to be chosen. But all of that work, it requires maintenance. And soon, very soon, that work becomes who you are. It becomes your pattern. And if I'm being honest, that's where the problem lies. We don't call it over functioning. We call it something like keeping the relationship together, keeping the relationship going. And too often, it's really just keeping things smooth because you haven't felt assured enough to be yourself. You don't want to trade the relationship in, especially at this age. And to prevent trading out the relationship, say for another one, we're not about going from relationship to relationship. So you manage what you have for as long as you can. And this can be especially true in shorter length relationships where you just try to hold the thing together because you really don't want to go from one relationship to the next one. So you keep managing his mood. You soften what's true for you. You try to fill out the room before you say anything. And I know we'll even try and make sure that we're not too much. We try to make ourselves not be the one that's creating distance between us. And sometimes we'll try not to be too independent. And we'll do all of that outside of ourselves for as long as we can. Because for many of us, being chosen, that feels like the actual reward. But I'll tell you, here's what's uncomfortable about it all. Once you're chosen, you don't just stop performing. And honestly, when the internal goal is to protect your title, you're going to keep working to protect that title, even though it's going to cost you. Society doesn't help us. It sells the end game like that is the best part of the whole thing. The ring, you get the partnership. You get to rest in, at least she's not alone, as if that's the victory. as if that part matters the most. But for most meaningful things in life, it's never just the ending that matters. What's more important to us is who you become on the way there. What did you learn? Did you grow? Did you actually enjoy yourself in the process? So don't let society bully you into thinking the end is the best part. It is a part, but it's not the best part. And if you get the ring and you're exhausted, that matters. In midlife, that changes what we're willing to tolerate. You just don't have the same patience anymore. And if something feels off, you really do feel it. It's like your tolerance it just can't tolerate what it used to could tolerate. I'm not going to override that just to keep things smooth in my relationship anymore. And that there is the shift. You make that shift and you're not doing it in a way where you are being rebellious to him, to the relationship. You're not being dramatic. It's just come to a place where you have awareness. And I'll tell you something. Awareness makes performance exhausting. So now you have to reflect and ask yourself, really, was being chosen the goal? Or is becoming yourself, that's really the goal? Because being chosen and becoming yourself, they don't create the same life for you. Centering myself doesn't mean that I leave. It doesn't mean that I harden while I'm staying. It doesn't mean that I stop loving. It means I stop organizing myself around someone else's comfort. If my tone changes in the room, I notice that. If I shrink mid-sentence, I take stock of that. If I'm tired all the time, I don't blame my age first. Instead, I look around and see what's on my plate, what I've put on my plate. How much of this relationship am I carrying? And doing that work is centering. So it doesn't need to be dramatic or loud, but it does need to be honest. In this space, we and the girls are not anti-commitment, but we are anti-disappearing. Being chosen isn't the finish line. Being yourself inside of your relationship, that is the goal. And if you are exhausted protecting the title that you've earned, maybe it's time to protect your energy instead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. And no, I really do mean it. Take care of yourself. All right, I'll see you next time.